Hello and welcome to my channel, The Way What Is Truth. Remember to like and subscribe and comment down below. Now, what brought me to 2nd Esdras 4 was that I was thinking of doing a video about the freakish weather we are having throughout the world. So then I asked my mum, I said to her, okay, where in the Bible does it talk about the freakish weather we are having right now in the Bible? And she says, oh, it's in 2nd Esdras 4. And then she said all the Catholics took it out of the main canon of the Bible years and years ago. And then I did a little bit of research about it, and I found out it was the Protestants in the 1800s that took 2nd Esdras out of the main canon of the Bible, and a load of other books as well, which I found rather interesting. I think, well, why did they do that? If you know why, then definitely tell me down below. But yes. Anyway, aside from that, I've had a little bit of bad news about my auntie Tina. She's got cancer in both of her kidneys, so that's took me back a bit. So if you'd like to pray for her and pray for everyone in the family who knows about her and loves her and cares about her, obviously her immediate family and friends and so on and so forth, then please do so. So it's been a bit of a funny old day. Anyway, as I was looking through this Bible app I have on my phone, I came across 2nd Esdras 4 and this conversation between the archangel Uriel and Esdras himself, I believe it is. If I'm wrong, then correct me down below, but I believe it's a conversation between the angel Uriel and Esdras himself, and I found it absolutely fascinating. So I thought this would make for a great video. And yeah, I will get around to doing a video about the freakish weather. I don't know whether it will be today or tomorrow or whenever, but yeah. I can't ignore it because this, I think it's in the Saudi Arabia desert now, there's flooding there. It's crazy. I know that the Lord God Almighty said he would expand Israel's borders, so I think that's got a lot to do with it. And plus there was that snow bomb which hit the whole of the United States of America, and apparently they're going to get more snow as well at some point in the near future. That's what I've heard. Anyway, not to go too far off topic, I'm going to read from 2nd Esdras. Now, listen to this very carefully, and I just found this absolutely fascinating and humbling, and it covers so many of the questions that we have in life, you know. So I pray that the Lord God Almighty gives you a spirit of humility and a spirit of wisdom and understanding as I read this to you. So yeah, 2nd Esdras 4. The archangel Uriel, who had been sent to me, replied, "You can't even understand what happens in this world. Do you think you can understand the ways of God Most High?" Okay. And then Esdras replied, "Yes, sir, I do," I answered. The angel continued, "I have been sent to ask you to solve 3 riddles about what happens in this world." Now, bear in mind, that's Uriel saying to Esdras, I've been sent to ask you to solve 3 riddles about what happens in this world, just so you don't get confused there. If you can explain even one of them to me, I will answer your questions about God's ways and teach you why the human race has an evil impulse. "I agree, sir," I said. Then he said to me, "Good. How do you weigh out a pound of fire? How do you measure a bushel of wind? And how do you bring back a day that has passed?" Okay. I answered, "Why do you ask me such questions? No human being could answer them." Then he said, "What if I had asked you how many dwelling places there are at the bottom of the sea? How many rivers flow into the waters beneath the earth? How many rivers are there above the dome of the sky? Where are the exits from the world of the dead? Where are the entrances to paradise?" Okay. If I had asked you these questions, you might have answered, "I have never gone down into the waters beneath the earth. I have not yet entered the world of the dead. I have never gone up to heaven. But all I have asked you about is fire, wind, and the day that has just passed. Things that you have experienced, yet you have given me no answer." Think about how brilliant that is. You can't even understand things that you have been familiar with since you were a child. It's just telling him how it is. How then can your little mind understand the ways of God Most High? Can someone already worn down by this corrupt world understand the ways of the incorruptible God? When I heard this, I fell face downward on the ground, and said to him, "It would have been better if we had never been born than to have to live in a world of sin and suffering without understanding why things happen as they do." Now, I think a lot of people can relate to that vexation and that sense of desperation that he had. The angel Uriel answered, "I once went into the woods and heard the trees plotting together. They were saying, 'Let's go to war against the sea and push it back so that we may have more room.' But the waves of the sea also plotted together and said, 'Let's conquer the woods and extend our territory.' But all the plotting of the trees was useless because fire came and destroyed them. And the plotting of the sea was just as useless because the sand stood firm and blocked its advance." Now, if you were the judge and had to decide between them, which would you pronounce right? I replied, "They were both wrong because trees belong on the land and waves belong in the sea." "You have given the right answer," he said, "so why can't you see the answer to your own problems? For just as trees have their place on land and waves have their place in the sea, so the people of this world can only understand what goes on in this world, and only heavenly beings can understand what goes on in heaven." "Please tell me, sir," I asked, "why then was I given the ability to understand anything?" "I'm not interested in asking questions about what goes on in the heavens. I'm only concerned about things that go on around us. Why has God allowed Israel to be disgraced by foreign nations? Why has he let the nation he loves be handed over to the power of godless nations? Why do the law and the covenant that were given to our ancestors mean nothing anymore? Why do we die as quickly as insects? Why is our life shorter than a breath? Why does God think us unworthy of his mercy?" These are all very good questions, by the way. Why doesn't God do something to help his own people? These are the questions that I want to ask. Uriel answered, "If you live long enough, you will be surprised at what you will see, because this age is rapidly passing away. This age is so full of misery and imperfection that it cannot hold all the blessings that God has promised to the righteous in the time to come. The evil about which you have asked me has already been planted, but the time for its harvesting has not yet arrived. This evil must be harvested, and this world where it was planted must be removed, before the new age where the good is to be planted can appear. At the beginning of time, one grain of evil seed was sown in the heart of Adam. See how much wickedness it has already produced. Think of how much more it will produce before it is cut down and threshed out at Judgment Day. You can see for yourself what a big crop this one evil seed has produced. How terrible will be the harvest on Judgment Day when these countless heads of grain are threshed out." Then I asked, "How long do we have to wait before this happens? Why are our lives so short and full of misery?" Uriel answered, "Don't be in a greater hurry than God Most High. You are thinking only of yourself, but God has to be concerned about everybody, which is one of the reasons why he's allowing things to carry on as they have been for so long. A lot of people arrogantly say, all of you stupid Christians are waiting for a Messiah for 2,000 years who will never arrive because it's already been so long. You know, this world is full of mockers, but we should pay no heed to these people. Okay? But God has to be concerned about everybody. You are thinking only of yourself, but God has to be concerned about everybody. How pertinent is that to all of us? Your questions are the same ones asked by the souls of the righteous dead in the places where God is keeping them waiting. How long must we wait here? When will the day of judgment come? When will we get our reward? Right? So yes, the archangel, now let me try and pronounce this correctly, the archangel Jeremiel answers them. Let me just spell that out correctly. Jeremiel. Jeremiel, or is that Jeremiel? I think it's Jeremiel. I'm going to pronounce it Jeremiel for simplicity's sake. So the archangel Jeremiel answers them. I wonder if he's looking at me now saying, "You're pronouncing my name wrong, brother." Anyway, the Archangel Jeremiel answers them, "It will happen as soon as the complete number of those who have suffered as you have are here, for God has weighed this age." Okay. Measured the years and numbered the days. Nothing will be changed until time has run its predetermined course. God does everything in his own time. He is not slow like we think he's slow. He's got to consider the whole earth and everything that's going on as a whole before he acts, you see. "But sir," I replied, "all of us here on earth are such wicked sinners. Is it possible that because of our sin, the righteous dead are having to wait for their reward?" I do apologise. My phone has gone all funny. I should be able to get it up quite fast, so let's not panic. Or should I say, I shouldn't be panicking. But I do dislike it so much when things go wrong. And I don't have the most reliable mobile phone in the world. This isn't the first time this happened. I think this is the second time that I've done a video where I've read things off my mobile phone and the screen has just disappeared completely. It's terrifying when it happens. Anyway, it shouldn't take too long to get it back up. You just have to bear with me. I do apologise for this. I do apologise for it. Ah dear, this is what happens when you buy a Nokia, about £60. But, my word, it's terrifying. It really, really is. If you buy a smartphone, make sure it's worth £150 or more. That's the only advice I can give to you, to all of you who's watching this video right now. So, come on. My word. You see, it's not really worth doing the video again just for the sake of, you know, of doing it smoothly from start to finish, and I hope and pray that you can see the funny side of it as well. Anyway, I was almost to the end actually. I was about halfway or just past halfway. Right. So I tell you what, I'll start reading again from here. From 2 Esdras 4:26, Uriel answered, "If you live long enough, you will be surprised at what you will see, because this age is rapidly passing away. This age is so full of misery and imperfection that it cannot hold all the blessings that God has promised the righteous in the time to come. The evil about which you have asked me has already been planted, but the time for its harvesting has not yet arrived. This evil must be harvested, and this world where it was planted must be removed before the new age where the good is to be planted can appear. At the beginning of time, one grain of evil seed was sown in the heart of Adam. See how much wickedness it has already produced. Think of how much more it will produce before it is cut down and threshed out at Judgment Day. You can see for yourself what a big crop this one evil seed has produced. How terrible will be the harvest on Judgment Day when these countless heads of grain are threshed out." This is how seriously God takes sin. Then I asked, "How long do we have to wait before this happens? Why are our lives so short and so full of misery?" Uriel answered, "Don't be in a greater hurry than God Most High. You are thinking only of yourself, but God has to be concerned about everybody. Your questions are the same ones asked by the souls of the righteous dead in the places where God is keeping them waiting. How long must we wait here? When will the day of judgment come? When will we get our reward?" The Archangel Jeremiel answers them, the Archangel Jeremiel answers them, "It will happen as soon as the complete number of those who have suffered, as you have, are here, for God has weighed this age, measured the years and numbered the days. Nothing will be changed until time has run its predetermined course." "But sir," I replied, "all of us here on earth are such wicked sinners. Is it possible that because of our sin the righteous dead are having to wait for their reward?" His answer was, "Can a pregnant woman keep her child from being born after her 9 months are up?" "No sir, she cannot," I answered. And he continued, "In the world of the dead, the place where God has stored the souls is like a womb. It is as eager to return the souls entrusted to it from the beginning of the world as a woman is to end her labour pains. When that happens, you will have the answer to all your questions. Please, sir, I asked, if you think I'm able to understand it, can you tell me one more thing? Is the time that is still to come longer than the past that has already gone by? I know how long the past has been, but I don't know the future. Come here and stand at my right, he commanded, and I'll show you a vision and explain its meaning. So I stood by him and looked, and I saw a blazing fire pass by in front of me, and when it was gone, I saw that smoke was still there. Then a rain cloud passed by in front of me, bringing a heavy downpour of rain, and when the downpour was over, there was still a light rain. Think about this, said Uriel. Just as the downpour was greater than the light rain that followed it, and the fire was greater than the smoke left behind, in the same way, the time that has passed is much longer than the time to come. The time that is left is like the light rain and the smoke. Please tell me, I asked, do you think I will live until that time? If not, who will be alive when it happens? He answered, I can tell you some of the signs of the end, if that is what you are asking about, but I am not here to tell you how long you will live, and in any case, I don't know. So think about how brilliant that conversation was between Esdra and first it was the Archangel Uriel, and then it was the Archangel Jeremiel. Unless Jeremiel, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but is Jeremiel a different way of saying Uriel, or is it two separate archangels there? Anyway, you'll have to correct me down below perhaps and add your own input to this video. I do apologise if I've gotten anything wrong, but this is the first time I've actually read 2nd Esdras 4. So you'll have to excuse me if I've got any details wrong or anything like that, or the names of people or who it was Uriel was actually talking to and so on and so forth. But I find the conversation absolutely fascinating, you know. And who wouldn't? Because it's a conversation between a man and an archangel, you know, someone who comes from above talking to someone who comes from down below. It's quite a fascinating conversation. Anyway, so yeah, also if you want to discuss why 2nd Esdras was took out of the main canon by the Protestants in the 1800s, that's quite bizarre to me. Mum said it might have something to do with Jewish people or something. No, I just don't know. It's something that I'm rather ignorant about, and yes, I am rather concerned about the whole weather situation going on around the world. It's absolutely nuts right now, so I've definitely got to find where it's written about the climate change, or should I say the change of the weather, the extreme change of the weather in the future, and it's in 2nd Esdras somewhere. Okay, so I may do another video today, I'm not sure. Anyway, I hope and pray that you're all well, and yes, I am concerned about my auntie Tina because she's got cancer of the kidneys. I've only literally just found out within the past hour. Okay, so I haven't known for long. Anyway, I hope and pray that you're all well. Bye bye and take care.